When I was 19 years old, I traveled with my dad to the poverty-stricken country of Haiti. I wasn't prepared for the experiences that I'd encounter on that unforgettable adventure. I saw endless makeshift cardboard dwellings with countless starving people everywhere. I saw men with wheelbarrows picking up the dead bodies at the edge of the streets where they had been placed during the night. We stayed in a rundown hotel directly across from the dictator's palace and paid $1 a night for a tiny room that my dad and I shared. The cruel, heartless dictator of Haiti was a man by the name of Doc de Villiers. He tortured those who opposed him and killed at least 60,000 of his own people during his reign. He was known to be delusional, and at one time he believed that one of his opponents had transformed himself into a black dog. So Doc had every black dog in Haiti killed in an attempt to get rid of his opponent. While we were staying at that hotel, I happened to notice what looked like 4 basketballs that were stuck on the pointed spikes on the fence that surrounded the palace across the street. I walked out to get a closer look, and to my horror, I realized that there were 4 human heads that had been placed on the spikes. But my dad and I also traveled to the far side of Haiti and saw some of the most beautiful, untouched beaches and tropical mountains that I had ever seen in my life. The beauty was breathtaking. When I returned to the States, I was so eager to share both the horror and the beauty of what I had seen and experienced. To my dismay, my attempts to describe what happened and my friends' responses were far beneath my expectations. I could not possibly relay to them the smells, the sights, the sounds, and the feelings that I'd experienced during that 2-week trip. They listened and gave typical appropriate responses, but I realized that they would never be able to know what I knew about Haiti. And here's why. It's better felt than telt. It's better touched and smelt than all the knowledge you acquire or dogmas you have held. Experience, not knowledge, awakens us within, so joy and peace can now increase and purpose can ascend. Awareness opens fountains that thinking never will. The streams abide deep down inside until our mind is still. Awakening to purpose, aware of here and now, with hearts aglow we start to grow as Spirit shows us how. It's better felt than telt, it's better touched and smelt than all the knowledge you acquire or doctrines you have held. The great Swiss educator reformer Johann Pestalozzi believed that children should experience a subject as much as possible before learning about it. He took in 81 orphans whose parents had been killed by the French army and taught them for 6 months without any books or curriculum. So he took his students on field trips and had them experience objects such as stones, apples, leaves, brooks, and trees, while applying principles of math, science, language, and the arts to what they experienced. Friedrich Froebel, a teacher from Germany, traveled to Switzerland to learn all he could from Pestalozzi, and as a result, he created what today we call kindergarten, which means children's garden in German. Horace Mann, the father of American education, called the first system of teaching in America the Pestalozzian system. Montessori schools are modeled after Pestalozzi, and even Sesame Street borrowed the concepts of Pestalozzi to teach a whole generation of children. Why? Because experience triumphs lecture. In the movie The Matrix, one of the key characters named Morpheus says there's a difference between knowing the path and walking the path. The reason that quote is so powerful is because it's better felt than telt.